Yeah, well, yeah, sort of intimate. It's in its own way. It's kind of like Daryl's House kind of thing. So I'm in New York, so I'm drinking some Manhattan Special, man. That's blows your brains out, I promise you. So, what's going on?
Okay,
Suzanne?
Daryl. Well, when I interviewed you about your mother,
Yeah.
my upcoming book, Mothers and Sons,
Right.
I just was mesmerized by your relationship with her. It's wonderful.
Well,
So,
yeah.
well, let me ask you my first question.
Okay.
Many men say that they look for their mother when they marry. Did you?
I wish I had. Because what I wound up with was nothing like my mother, and that was a big mistake. What? Oh. I'm in the middle of a divorce, man. Give me some slack. Anyway, is that an answer?
Okay, that's good. So, tell us, what did your mother do for a job?
For a job? Mm-hmm. Well, she did a lot of different things. She was a teacher. She was an art teacher. She was a music teacher. She was a singer in a band. I mean, that's the most important part. She led choirs. She sang in different organizations and sang in a band. And I think my relationship with her is mostly musical. I mean, it's been that way since I was old enough to know what that meant. And she's a big influence on me. That's the best way I could say it. She's a great singer. Still sings. She's 92 years old, right? Yeah. And she just sang last week in front of people. You know, I mean, she gets out there and sings, and she's a good singer. So.
How old were you when she realized you had perfect pitch?
How old was I?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. You know,
She told me.
She knows?
She told me.
So how old was I? You tell
3.
me.
You were 3.
I was 3?
You were 3.
I know I was singing harmonies at 3. I didn't know I had perfect pitch then, but hey, that sounds right.
So she saw this potential in you. How did she nurture it?
Well, I don't know if I guess she saw potential in me, but it was sort of a given. Music ran in our family. My dad was a singer as well, and it sort of was like I said, it was a given. I don't know. I mean, I think she just saw me as being someone who understood everything about music, you know, from the very beginning.
Well, didn't she have you do like a little exercise when you?
Yeah, that was the thing.
So
she taught me how to sing properly from my diaphragm because I would walk around the house and she'd say pant like a dog, so I'd have to go like that, and that teaches you how to sing in your diaphragm. And that's the reason I don't have any problems with my throat, and I don't have to warm up or do anything. And a lot of people, their throats blow out, and they get nodes, and they get all this kind of stuff. That's not an issue with me. Never has been.
Thank you, Mom, for that.
I thank you, Betty.
So what were some magical moments when your mom really inspired you? And was it more what she said or what she did?
She was in her own way pushy, but pushy in a good way. You know, she always got me in front of people, instinctively taught me about the breaking down the fourth wall. You know, I'm up here, they're down there, you know, that kind of thing, learning how to be a performer. And taught me how to deal with that. You know, she used to say, don't look at certain people, look beyond them, look right out there, you know. And, you know, little things like that. When you're a little kid, you start understanding how to be a performer. But you know, she put me in plays, and you know, which she would direct. You know, it was a very. I grew up in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, which is a suburb of Philadelphia, but it was a small town when I was a kid. So there was all these little things going on, and she would get me involved in them. You know, so I'd do all that. There it is.
So you were on stage as a little kid.
Yeah.
What was there? Was there a really difficult time in your life that your mother helped you discover your strengths?
Well, I don't know if she helped me to discover my strengths other than I think that she always encouraged me. You know, I think that's a form of allowing me to discover my strengths that way, because she never had any, and there was no second thoughts about the fact that I was going to be a professional musician. I mean, it wasn't like, oh, get a real job or anything like that. You know, it was always, yes, okay, you're going to be a professional musician. And so it was with that in mind, and knowing that I had that sort of confidence behind me, it made it, I won't say it made it easier, but it made it more inevitable.
So do you think when you were growing up, that was her dream for you, her ambition for you to be a professional musician?
I guess so. She never said. I mean, she probably would have been happy if I would have been a music teacher, I guess. I don't know. But I think that's what she really wanted. Yeah, I would assume so. You have to ask her.
Well, I mean, every mom's dream is to produce a rock star, or sleep
Is it?
with one, or sleep with.
I'm old enough that there was no such thing as a rock
How did
star.
How did your mom do that?
What, produce a rock star?
Yeah.
That she did not do. I had to do that. Moms don't know how to make rock stars. Well, maybe they do, but I don't want to know about it.
And how much did your mom contribute to you developing your self-esteem and your self-discipline?
There was always that kind of confidence building. You know, she let me know that when I did something right, she'd let me know it. You know, there was definitely a feeling of you know, you're good, you can do this, you can do, you know, you have something going on, and that was it really did instill confidence at a really early age.
And like, what about leadership? What did you see her doing in her job? Like,
Well, I watched her do
choir.
it. I watched her be on stage and perform and sing with a band. And I was always like watching the band leader and the drummers and you know, I watched the whole thing go on, and then she'd come out and do her numbers and all that kind of thing. It was sort of a big band. I guess that's what she was in. And you know, I'd watch her. I'd be sitting in the audience, watch her with her clothes, you know, her costumes on, and do all that stuff. And it was like, hey, she does that. I could do that. You know.
Well, you were young when you met John Oates and you became famous. Like, what's it like when you're young and famous? And did your mother help you keep your feet on the ground?
Well, I mean, we weren't that young. We were. I met John when I was about, I don't know, about 19 years old, something like 18, something like that. Yeah. Well, that's true. We were right out of high school, and did she help me with that? Yes. Yeah. I mean, and John's parents too. They all grew up we all sort of grew up in the same area, about 15, 20 miles apart. And they would come to all the shows and, you know, bring relatives and do all that kind of thing. It was just general support from the very, very, very beginning.
But, you know, we always hear about these rock stars, like, trashing hotel rooms and going crazy and wild. What was the most shocking thing that you did that in your mother's eyes?
In my mother's eyes?
Yeah.
Yipes.
Or that she knows about, or that you might tell her right now.
Well, I can't think of anything. My mind's blanking out.
We'll give you a moment or two.
I don't think I ever did anything shocking in front of my mother. I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to go there. I don't think so anyway. Nothing I can remember. I think some of the clothes decisions that I made were rather shocking to her.
The clothes decisions?
I remember we did the Silver album cover, right? And this is when this guy Pierre LaRoche put all this makeup all over us, right? And I remember my Aunt Clara, she was about 85 when she saw the Silver album cover, and all she said, she goes, well, that's a really nice necklace you have on around your neck. She didn't pay any attention to what the fuck that was going on. So I don't know. That's a sort of I guess that's, in some weird way, that's confidence boosting, because it's like no matter what you do, it's okay, you know?
So your mother, like, wouldn't have preferred you to be in the Vienna Boys Choir?
Yeah. She wanted me to do that. I did not want to do that. That was too formal for me. That's the one area that we sort of went two different ways. She had a more formal attitude toward music. She was classically trained, and she sort of saw things that way. And of course, that's her generation too. And I didn't want to go there. You know, she wanted me on audition for the Vienna Boys Choir. We're talking like late 50s, and I didn't want to do that.
So say you were not her son, would your mother still listen to your music?
Well, that's a hard call. I don't know. I mean, she likes. I don't know what she listens to these days. She's got a pretty soulful attitude, I'll tell you that. So I don't know. Maybe she would have liked what I do. Probably.
Does she watch your show live at Daryl's house?
She comes to the shows.
She comes to the shows?
Every once in a while, you see the camera pan, and there she is sitting there. You know, yeah. She comes to almost all of them.
Your rock concerts, like at Madison Square Garden, did she come?
No, she didn't come there, but whenever I'm in the Philadelphia area, she usually comes down there. If I play like the Borgata or, any of the Philadelphia area, places, she shows up to that.
So she loves having produced a rock star.
Oh, yeah.
She's a mom.
She likes to make entrances. Mom. She comes in, because she's disabled, so she comes in, she generally wears like cloaks and things like that. It's pretty cool, actually.
So Daryl, there you are,
Yeah.
all alone, waiting for the sunlight.
Yeah.
How often do you call your mother?
Oh, at least it depends. It depends how busy I am and how much I'm traveling. I mean, I usually get at least once a week, probably twice a week. I'm going to see her tomorrow night, so that's good too.
Does she still give you advice?
She doesn't cut me any slack, I'll tell you that. What did she do recently? She came to a show, and my monitors weren't really very good. And I was sort of choosing alternative notes because I wasn't going for the really high notes. And I came off stage, and she was backstage. She went, "Something wrong with your voice?" And I went, "No." She goes, "You weren't singing those same notes you normally sing." So she was like hearing everything I was doing. Nothing escapes her. I promise you that.
And does she give you advice on does she like on your music or when you're doing your album right now? Is she giving you opinions?
Well, no, because I usually don't play anything for, like I'm working on a new record right now. I'll play her things, but they'll be sort of finished. But she'll be interested in hearing them for sure.
So when did she turn to like your music from her classical background?
Well, I mean, she was both. She was classics, light classics, and then she also did big band stuff. So she was never totally in that world. So it made sense to her from the beginning, I think.
What do you think it is about you that she's most proud of?
Oh man, that's a hard call. I don't know. I think probably the musical accomplishments is probably the thing she's the most proud of. I assume. I don't know, actually. She never told me.
Well, you said your
What
mom's
else would
not-
she be proud of me for?
I don't know.
I haven't really done that much else.
Think about it. What else would she be proud of?
Well, we talk about books a lot. I know that because we're both ridiculous readers, and believe it or not, she reads some of the same books I read, and so we have lots of literary discussions.
What do you read? What do you?
Well, like recently, I couldn't believe it when I found out she's a Michael Connelly fan. Now, Michael Connelly's dark, and I said, "Mom, you read these books, man? That's okay with you?" She goes, "Oh yeah, no problem." So anyway.
So you don't just communicate musically, but you can communicate in all. I mean, you really have that musical connection between the two of you.
Yeah, for sure. But it's everything. It's the arts. We talk about the arts, music, politics. Well, not so much these days, but we tried doing that, and we both looked at each other and we went, "Why are we talking about this? It's not worth talking about." But she was, she's a very political person.
So your mom's 92, and Mother's Day's coming.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're gonna have a few more, but they're gonna come to an end one day. What would you, if your mom was sitting here right now, what would you say to her?
Oh, I'd say thank you for everything that you have given me, all the musical experience that you allowed, that you formed. Oh boy, that's hard. I'm tongue-tied now. It has to do with forming me. Thank you for forming me, creating me, really, because she did.
You wouldn't be a musician if you.
I would not be the same person if it wasn't for
If she hadn't put you on stage when you were 3 or 5 years old, or whenever she got you.
I'd be a completely different person if I had a different mother.
Well, yeah.
No, but I mean mentally.
Would you ever write a song for you? Well, this is my last question. Would you ever write a song about or for your mother, and what would you say?
I've never written a song about my mom, but I'm sure that there's things I write about, personal experiences and feelings, and sort of the way I look at the world, and that includes her. So in some way, she's a part of those songs, you know, in that way. Not directly maybe, but the attitude behind them and you know, things like that, for sure.
Because you write about relationships.
Yeah.
And your strongest domestic relationship is with your mother.
Well,
maybe not. I don't know.
Well, there's certainly all reactions against it or with it, or you know, it all comes from the first relationship, I suppose. Don't all relationships come from one source?
Yeah. How to be.
Yeah.
So the audience is going to ask questions?
Okay.
Daryl, thank you so much for coming to AOL Build. I don't fanboy over too many people, but you're legit straight up my idol. So this is an honor,
man,
for you to be here, man. I can't tell you how cool this is.
Well, thank you.
In honor of this conversation, I actually decided to bring my mom here.
Yeah, there he is. There she is.
Stand up. And because of you and your music, you brought us closer together, and I thank you forever for that.
Oh, that's really nice. Oh, that's
Mom, do you want to?
Fantastic.
It's the truth. Do you want to say
wonderful.
how much you love Daryl?
I love you.
Oh, well.
You make me dance. Whatever song it is, you make me dance.
that's
and
my
you make
job.
me come alive, and I love it. They were playing the music earlier, and
Yeah.
I just was sitting in my seat. I wanted to get up there and dance on that stage over there. So
cool.
I did introduce my son to you because I had tickets, and I said, come to the concert with me. You're going to have the best time of your life. And I don't even know how old you were, but you were really young, and ever since.
We've lost track how many times we've seen you. So I guess going into that, because I've seen you in concert so many times, I love some of your older stuff from like the really Smokin' album. Like we're going back, I think, to 71, 70. Can we ever expect to see maybe some of the lesser known songs get some shine at upcoming concerts?
You know, we've been thinking about that too, because I try and, you know, there's a line to walk between what people come to see certain songs, and you got to sort of add them to the set. And our good problem is that we have so many songs that people want to hear. It's hard to start bringing out the more obscure songs. And I've been doing it on the show, on Live from Daryl's House. I always tell my artists to go deep into my catalog and try and pull out things and suggest things so that I can play these songs that people aren't used to hearing. And I've been doing it sort of on my own that way. But I think that we're going to start doing that more and more, even with Hall & Oates concerts, to just get away from just the expected songs. We always do that anyway, but more and more to try and, if for no other reason, to please ourselves too, because, you know, you can't play the same songs over and over again.
Hello, hi Daryl.
Hi.
First, I just want to say you are probably the coolest dude I have ever, like, you know, you're just sitting there and you got all this swag, and I'm just like, yo.
I don't know.
I think so.
Daryl.
Of course I am.
I wanted to know, so there are so many artists out there. Who is the one person that you would like to work with musically?
Well, I am in a good situation, as you can tell, because I get to work with all these new artists, you know. I mean, I just worked with somebody yesterday. I did the latest, you know, we're working on the new season of Live for Daryl's House. And I just worked with this girl who's 18 years old. Her name is Grace, and she is an incredible singer. She's an Australian girl. She had a big hit in England, and she's going to start popping around, I guarantee you. Quincy Jones produced her. I mean, she's happening. And she came to the show so prepared, and she's so talented. Nice girl, very intelligent. So I get to work with these new people like that, and it's really inspiring to me. And it's interesting to see how people who are just starting out relate to someone who's been doing it as long as I have, and how we interact and how they interact with my band and all that kind of thing. So it's really, boy, I mean, I wouldn't even have another person I could say. Every time I work with some new person, I say, well, that's the best one, you know, and then a new one comes along, and I go, oh, shit, there's that one, you know. It's like, hey, you know, you never know what's going to happen.
Hi, you and I had a chat at the New York Heroes Awards years ago.
Yeah.
I won't remember, but you remember being there.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, as a kid, I'm 46 now, so growing up in the 70s, I was saying I got Cream magazine, and one of the biggest, you know, 77, you guys were featured in one of the first, if not first, big kind of features. And you made a comment, and I called you on it, and you said, quote, people who own our records do not own KISS records. And I said to you, funny enough, I like both you guys. And what it made me think of, in retrospect, 40 years on now almost, is that the 70s was the first and last time, I think, that you'll have such an eclectic range from everything that everything went. And you could coexist so comfortably, and that's never going to happen again. So all these years later, you can have such a wide variety. And just in retrospect, I think that's, for me, the best thing about the 70s. I'm wondering your take on it now, looking back.
See, when I said that, I was just young and stupid, but because I realized that people that, just as you say, people did like both. In fact, Elliot Lewis, my keyboard player, he is the most gigantic KISS fan in the world, right? And he plays in our band, and eclecticism is what it's all about, really. I mean, that's putting labels on things has always been a mistake. Assuming that if you like this kind of music, you don't like that kind of music, it's just wrong. So I was wrong. Sorry.
To piggyback on the young lady here, I must say that your swag game is very tight. It's real tight. And I went to see you when you were just at the Garden, and you all tore the place down.
Woo!
I'm a grown-ass woman. I've seen many, many shows there, and I never had to stand up for an entire show to be able to see the show. You had the whole arena, you and John.
I felt it. I felt it.
It was awesome, absolutely awesome. So aside from who you want to work with, in the hood, you were dubbed the king of blue-eyed soul back in the Dizzy when I was like a little cheetah. And I want to know, who do you feel is coming along that might be able to wear that moniker? I'm feeling Alan Stone, and I think you have an affinity for him.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Okay.
Alan, man.
Okay.
Alan can sing.
He is
can
badass.
do some singing. And if you see his show, he does it right. He does it right. He's the real deal, man. So yeah, I'd use him. He'd be my first person to say. Absolutely.
Great. We're going to take our final question from an online viewer.
Okay.
So Jamie would like to know, what's your favorite song that you've written?
Man, I've been asked that a number of times, and that's like saying I don't even know what it's like saying.
Your favorite child.
Your favorite child, yeah, if you had 450 kids. Does that answer your question?
I said a line of one of your songs. I thought you were going to get it and laugh, Daryl.
What?
You didn't get it. In Sara Smile, I said it to you to see what reaction I get.
You said a line from Sara Smile?
Yes, I did.
What was it?
It was, there you are, all alone, waiting for the sun to shine.
Oh, no,
Just
waiting
light,
for
sunlight.
Yeah, the sunlight.
But I said that.
Okay.
I've been saying that in my head.
Well, it went right past me. I'm sorry, dear.
You need that coffee, Daryl.
Okay.
Okay, Daryl, thank you very much.
Oh, sure. Thank you.